Captain America week continues here on Action Figure Obsession. I'm Avian and Loaded, and thank you for joining me for another action figure video. And this one features two, not one, but two of my personal favorite Captain Americas in my collection, and they are actually both the same figure. These are the Diamond Select, Marvel Select Captain Americas from, I want to say 2024, I think they came out. Could even have been 2023, it came out. This Captain America came packed with an unbelievable amount of accessories. Just absolutely extraordinary loadout. And you're seeing some of them in this image. I should have pulled out some of the rest of them. Maybe I'll pause the video if I can do that without stopping it, and see if I can dig out the rest of them. They're not too far away from me. But basically, you got the history of Captain America with this figure. And don't fall over. Don't fall over. Come on. All right, there. Now you won't fall over. Starting with the World War II era Captain America. This is basically the character as Captain America creators Joe Simon and Jack Kirby originally devised him. You have the exposed neckline, giving him kind of a, oh, I don't know, is it like a circus strongman sort of look, athletic look, and the original badge-shaped shield that Captain America used during World War II. I'm not sure actually when he got the round shield. It may have been during the World War II run of comics, or it may, I think that it was probably. But I don't, you know, I'm showing off my lack of full knowledge of the history of Captain America as a character. But he was created prior to the involvement of the United States in World War II as Joe Simon and Jack Kirby's response to creeping fascism in Europe, and specifically in Germany with the rise of Adolf Hitler, who famously on the cover of Captain America #1, the Star-Spangled Avenger is giving him a good sock in the jaw, as is required by being a moral, ethical human being. So this is, as I say, pretty close to his original look, with the exposed neck, with the badge-shaped shield. And also, while there are some, let me see if I can zoom in on some details here. While there is a hint of the scale mail on his uniform, it's not overly done as like this Marvel Legends one, where it's literally over his entire chest and shoulders and back, which I have no problem with that. I like it. I think it's great, although it hinder articulation a little bit, which is why the Gamerverse Marvel vs. Capcom Captain America that came out last year has improved articulation, especially in the arms, because it doesn't have the scale mail, so it's able to incorporate butterfly joints in a way that with the scale mail is a little more problematic. But anyway, you'll notice the Marvel Select does not have the butterfly joints, which would be visible right here, that would allow him more of a range of motion, because Marvel Select, when it existed, was in a very interesting place in the, I'm going to say the action figure space, if you will, because Marvel's primary contract for action figures since 2002, I think, has been the Marvel Legends line, first with Toy Biz, and then is starting, I think, in 2008 with Hasbro, when they bought the license after Toy Biz failed. But there are other companies that Marvel has licensed to make action figures from time to time, besides the Marvel Legends line. You know, this is mostly a sea of Marvel Legends right here. They are 6-inch scale action figures, and of course I make a liar out of myself because there's a 7-inch scale Spider-Man right there. But for the most part, this table is filled with 6-inch scale figures, Marvel Legends. You know, there's Stan the Man right there, and Iron Man, and then Wolverine, and, you know, That is in fact the that and G.I. Joe Classified are the center of my collection, but I do have some 7-inch figures, and this Marvel Select line, one of the requirements of it in order to keep Hasbro happy, from what I understand, is that they would have limited articulation. And the earliest Marvel Select figures from, I don't know, maybe 30 years ago, 25, 30 years ago, when they first started doing figures, were extremely limited. Sometimes only like you could swivel at the maybe the shoulder joint or something like that. The legs would have no articulation at all on some of them. I recall a Punisher that I don't think had any articulation below the waist. It was a very strange figure. But back then, Marvel Select was more about the art of it. That Punisher figure came with an accessory that was actually a full-size pinball machine with a criminal who the Punisher had knocked out or shot and who was laying unconscious on the pinball table. And it was a full-size 7-inch, I mean, it was an accessory. It wasn't meant to be articulated or posed, but I mean, you were getting a lot of bang for your buck with Marvel Select even back then, before they started doing better articulation, which I would say probably in the last 10 years, they started incorporating a little bit better articulation. You can see at the bicep here, this Captain America has a bicep swivel that allows for a more natural human movement, and that's something that wouldn't have been seen in the early Marvel Select figures. That was an innovation that came later. But they were limited as far as the points of articulation that they could have. And I think the average Marvel Legend, the average good Marvel Legend probably has somewhere around 30 points of articulation. You know, you're talking about the wrists, the elbows, the shoulders, the biceps, the hips, the knees, the feet, and everywhere in between. And now they've recently started bringing back toe joints. So not only can you bend the foot up and down and pivot it side to side at an angle, but now with some of them, like Spider-Man, the Marvel Legends, you actually can bend them at the toe joint for like a more natural walking pose or something like that. But again, these Marvel Select figures historically were very limited in articulation. They weren't meant to be played with so much as they were meant to be displayed. They are sort of statues that have beautiful beautiful paint deco and often sculpting, but usually didn't live up to expectations if you were a Marvel Legends or G.I. Joe Classified collector. These two Captain Americas, which again, there was one Captain America release 2 or 3 years ago that had accessories, so I bought 2 of them so I could have these 2 different versions, the World War II version and the more modern version. But where was I? Totally lost my train of thought. But they are the sort of the best of both worlds with Marvel Select, in that they still have nice sculpting and paint, but they also have decent articulation. And I haven't counted the points of articulation, but as I said, Marvel Legends is probably anywhere from 28 to 32 on a good figure. And this one probably is in the high teens to around 20 points of articulation. And some of the removable items for the swap out, so you can have either the modern look or the World War II look, and it also came with an unmasked Steve Rogers head and neck. That's one of the cool things about this, is the head and neck are separate, which allows for a little more versatility in having, for example, that uncovered neck part on the World War II version. So for the World War II one, you want this head with the exposed neck and the badge-shaped shield that he utilized in World War II, and then for a more modern Captain America, we have the round shield, which is a work of art in this release from Marvel Select. Absolutely stunning piece. It is fully sculpted, not just a sticker or painted. Fully sculpted and painted. Beautiful, beautiful shield. I actually bought a third set so I could give some of those shields to some of my Marvel Legends Captain Americas, because coincidentally they happen, and perhaps not coincidentally, oftentimes I think Marvel Select did things to try to appeal also to Marvel Legends collectors. Like they did a lot of bigger characters, like the Immortal Hulk, which I have in my Marvel Legends display because the Hulk is a big guy, and the Marvel Select Hulk, I think, is oh, I don't know, 9 or 10 inches tall, but it easily, because, you know, his size varies so much in the comics and in the movies, that the Marvel Select Hulk is my favorite Hulk in my Marvel Legends collection, and it's not even a Marvel Legends figure. The other signposts of the more modern Captain America, and again, these are removable items that came in the package with this figure, are this more military-style belt full of, let's see, this one has his Necco wafers. That one, I believe, has a deck of playing cards, and I think this one he keeps his cell phone in, so it's always close to hand. The straps, of course, are around his shoulders, and technically speaking, the straps should only be there when he has his shield plugged into his back, which you can also do, because the straps are supposed to be also the straps that are on the back of the shield, and he, you know, wraps them around his shoulders when he carries his shield on his back. That is something that sometimes I get picky about, like with this Captain America right here, this Marvel Legends Captain America. This is the Secret Wars Captain America, whose shield was destroyed during the Secret Wars and then later restored. He does not have shoulder straps on him, because I wanted this one to represent, you know, the fact that he's holding his shield in his hand, and it's not strapped around his back, so he doesn't have the shoulder harness, because that's actually the straps from his shield. Does that make any sense? I'm getting really deep into the weeds here, I can see. Oh boy, that was the wrong place for that one. Okay, I'm so close to knocking everything over now, and I know that's what you're waiting for. Someday I'll explain the rules of the drinking game of how many figures will Avian and Loaded knock over during one of his action figure obsession videos. So anyway, Marvel Select Captain America. If you have a really good comic shop near you, you may still be able to find some of these. Marvel Select was a product of Diamond, which was primarily a comic book distributing company. They went under a year or two back. But Marvel Select was their line of Marvel action figures, and a lot of comic book stores went deep on them. And you might still be able to find one of these Captain Americas in a pretty good comic book store, or maybe even like at Disney, in the Disney stores. It's possible you'd see these. I've seen Marvel Select figures there. Or, of course, eBay, Mercari, Facebook Marketplace, that sort of thing. If you're interested in Captain America and you want a really good and really visually impressive 7-inch version of Captain America, you could do far worse than this Marvel Select Captain America. And again, you know, with all of the accessories that are included in the box, you do have the choice of World War II Captain America with or without his mask. There's an unmasked head. And you could also make the modern Captain America with or without the shoulder straps, with or without the belt for the more military look. You can have a cleaner look if you want with that Captain America. Just want to show you what these Marvel Selects look like, you know, standing next to the Marvel Legends figures. You know, the Marvel Legends, the 6-inch figures, always look so big when they're just in scale with themselves. But when you put them back to back with a 7-inch scale Marvel Select, you start to see there's a big difference between 6 and 7 inches. That's what she said. No, I didn't say that. Forget that. That was an Anthony's Customs joke, now that I think about it. But yeah, I dig the Marvel Select Captain America. I dig it because it gave me a couple of good shields to add to my 6-inch Marvel Legends Captain Americas, because they are properly scaled for Marvel Legends, in addition to being scaled for Marvel Select. And I also dig it because you get the really cool looking World War II one. Oh, I should have grabbed my World War II custom Captain America. That's on the display behind me, and I'm not gonna get up and grab it. But I do have a Marvel Legend with that shield as well. My Captain America from World War II in Marvel Legends form. There's a lot of really good Captain Americas out there. If you need any guidance or advice on the particular kind you're looking for, leave me a comment, and I can help you figure out what you want, and maybe even where to get it. And I think that's about it for now, for these beautiful, beautiful Diamond Select, Marvel Select Captain Americas. There was a long period of time where I was not that wild about Marvel Select. I really, when they first started and the figures were, you know, not very well articulated and kind of weird looking. But over the years, they really got the hang of it, and they were turning out great figures like this on a regular basis. And then, unfortunately, because the company, at least from my outsider point of view, didn't seem to be run very well or trying to really keep going for the long term. I mean, they were around for a few decades, but eventually the comic book stores, I think, kind of gave up on them because they were just not getting the service that they were expecting. That's what I heard from a few dealers anyway. But in the end, they could not keep that company going, and so we won't have any more figures like this. These are the same scale, by the way, as the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse, but these are much better toys, much better quality plastic, much better sculpting, much better articulation. Everything about them is better. McFarlane Toys has done a few good figures, but they have done hundreds and hundreds of pretty terrible DC Universe figures or Multiverse figures. And I can't say as I'm sorry that they lost that license. I'm not sure Mattel is going to do right by it, but I'm hoping that they give us a nice line of 6-inch DC figures that can scale well with Marvel Legends, because it would be really nice to be able to have my 6-inch Captain America or my 6-inch Punisher or my 6-inch Peter Parker. You know, it'd be nice to have my 6-inch figures get to hang out with Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman and Black Canary and Green Lantern and Green Arrow and the Flash and all those DC guys. You don't hear me talk much about DC, but I do have a lot of affection for their characters. I don't talk much about them, frankly, because even though I have about 50 McFarlane DC Multiverse toys, I don't love a lot of them. I like some of them, but some of them I just got because I liked a particular character. And I guess we will wrap up this Captain America video for now. We'll give you a little look at this 12-inch Captain America. I don't know if I'm ever going to open that figure just because I don't really have the display space for my 12-inch Marvel Legends, all of which you can see here on this table. Including Wolverine there, who I bought opened anyway, so he's obviously out of the box, but the rest of these are all sealed and still in the package. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all I have to say for now about the Marvel Select Captain America. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below, and I will respond and put a heart on your comment. And if you like this video or any of my action figure obsession videos, I do ask you to please leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so that YouTube taps you on the shoulder anytime I do something new. And if you know someone who you think might enjoy my content, please share the video with them and let them know what you found. I would really appreciate that. And for this action figure obsession video, thank you for stopping by, and I will see you on the next one.